Hey team, Master Schiele here. Today we're going to discuss the 3 zones in fighting. What are the 3 zones in fighting? Well, simply put, these are something that I came up with to help my students discover where they are while they're in a match. We have 3 different zones. We're going to have our green zone, we're going to have our yellow zone, and we're going to have our red zone. Let's get into it. So if I have my shield here, let's pretend my shield is my opponent, okay? The green zone is a safety distance. So what that means is I can throw strikes whatever I want, and my opponent can throw strikes, but we're not gonna hit each other. That's the green zone. That's where you don't wanna get hit, all right? You're starting off usually in the green zone, and you're using that when you need a break from fighting your opponent. You're kind of getting into that green zone so they can't hit you. Well, let's go into the next one. What is the yellow zone? Yellow zone, simply put, is the zone where, if I'm gonna be honest, it's gonna be dominant to one person. Typically, it's going to be the person that has either longer limbs or is a little bit faster, okay? So, for example, if I have longer legs than my opponent here, the yellow zone is going to be a great area for me if I'm a great kicker because I can kick my opponent and they cannot kick me, right? So that's going to be dominant for one. And you have to understand that quickly because if you are on the other side of that in the yellow zone, you don't want to stay there. You want to either be in the green or the red zone. You don't want to stay in the yellow because you cannot score points on your opponent while you're in the yellow. Let's get to the last one, the red zone. Red zone is we are both equal, okay? Now, red zone is I can hit my opponent, all right? I can kick, I can do whatever, and my opponent can hit and kick me. That's the red zone. Now, the red zone, I don't like to stay in the red zone too long. There's a strategy with that, but you got to be advanced for it. So red zone, don't stay in there too long. You want to bounce between the yellow, the red, and the green. And you have to kind of discover what kind of fighter you are. Here's something I love when it really comes to sparring. Everyone's different. Everyone that you spar and you go against has a different strategy. So the first part of it is really understanding what kind of fighter they are. Maybe they have long legs, but they don't know how to use them. Great. That maybe you can fight in the yellow zone then, right? But you have to discover that quickly. So here's something that I like to do when I start a match against an opponent I've never ever worked with before. What I do is I throw a tester kick. Kind of do a little temperature check, okay? So what you do, real simple, is you're here, you have your side kick, and you just throw that side kick a few times. Now that's gonna show a couple things. It's gonna show A, how they react to while you hit them, okay? Now I'm not throwing a hard kick right there, it's a temperature check. I'm just throwing my leg out there. So it's kind of showing the reaction, what they do when I hit them. Do they freeze up? Awesome, I love that. They freeze up. That's gonna be my chance to go in on them, right? Maybe they just kind of move back. Oh, okay, now they're gonna give me a hard time. Good, they understand the 3 different zones. And I can also just see how close that distance gap is, right? So that's a great way to check that. So use that temperature gauge while you use that side kick. That's gonna always be there for you. So 3 zones, real quick. Let's hit them one more time. Green is for either one cannot hit each other. Yellow is for the dominant person who's a little bit longer limbs, a little bit faster. Don't stand there too long. And red means you're an equal playing field. I can hit my opponent and my opponent can hit me. I hope this video was helpful. Do check out my other ones. Hit that like button, subscribe button, that little bell, and I will see you in our next video. Take care.